Well, I've been saying this to all of your cast, but congratulations for being a part of one of the biggest shows on Netflix right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you.
I have to know, because this is your first major role that you ever booked. How much has your life changed since this show has went out to the world?
It's definitely changed for the good, but I just focus on what I've got to do at the moment. I'm focusing on school, so that's just all outside noise for me at the minute. But yeah, it's going good.
This being your first acting gig, you really went there. This wasn't an easy role to take on. Was it ever challenging for you at all? Was there ever any points when you read the script and you were like, God, what did I just get myself into?
It wasn't like what did I just get myself into. It was more like how am I gonna pull that off. So it was when I first got given the script. It was the parts in episode 3 where I thought it was a bit out of my comfort zone a little bit, but with the help of Stephen and everyone around me, it was easy. So yeah.
Stephen, I want to talk to you. You play Owen's dad in this series. How were you two able to bond before creating this, and just to bring that father-son energy to the screen?
I met Owen. He'd already been through a lot of rounds, with the audition process, and we had a day where it was a workshop day, and I think there was 5 other young lads who also ended up in the film. They were all going for the same role, and Owen came in the room, and I'll be completely honest, he just had an energy and he had a quality about him, do you know what I mean? And I looked him straight in the eyes, and I'll never forget it. I just said, look, from now on, I'm your dad and you're my son. And he just looked at me straight in the eye and he went, okay. And I just went, ooh. And then we did a little improvisation, and it was just there straight away. We didn't have to work on it at all, do you know what I mean? It was just something there. And I'm very blessed. I've got 2 gorgeous kids myself who I love and adore, and I just used a lot of that, my kind of love for them. I tried to bring it into what we were doing together.
As a dad, like you just said, was it hard for you at all shooting some of these scenes with him? And how were you able to leave set and go home and decompress it all and leave it all behind you?
There's a secret to it. We used the second take, and the reason why we used the second take is my son was there that day. Alfie was there, and it was just, there was something a bit special about that particular take. Do you know what I mean? Because we went into it and he was on fire. He was electric within that take. So was Ashley. Everyone was, but my Alfie was there, and that kind of, for me, that gave it something different. And then there's a moment where in the police room where he's getting strip searched. And obviously, that didn't happen within the context, so we had a curtain there, and all I was doing was visualising our Alfie in that situation. I think that's what acting is. You use a lot of your own experiences and bring them to it. But it was just a really joyous experience. And this absolute genius, what he does is he's just right in the moment, you know what I mean? He dives in, and he's fearless. So that, you bring that energy to the table, and then you just counter that. You bounce off each other. That's what it is. It's about sharing our energy and sharing those moments. And he dives in, and as soon as he's finished, he runs off and starts playing swing balls. You know what I mean? So that was another beauty about it.
Now, there's a lot of Emmy buzz going around with this show. I have to know, one, you just secured your first acting gig, but what would it mean to you to be nominated for an Emmy and possibly take home an Emmy for this role?
That's next level, It's like this time last year, I don't know what I'd be doing, it's just crazy how fast it came round and stuff like that. So it's an honour to be even in that conversation of an Emmy. So yeah, it's good to.
Now, last question, Stephen. You wear many hats in this show. You're acting, co-writer, executive producer. Whose idea was it to shoot this series in one take?
Well, we'd already done a film. We did a short film called Boiling Point, and then we did a feature called Boiling Point. So the concept was already there, and that was Matt Lewis, our DOP. He had this idea to do a short film in one shot about a chef. And Phil, our amazing director, do you know what I mean? It was kind of their baby, and we did the short, so we always knew it was going to be done in one shot. and that was basically where it then came from. I had the idea, obviously got Jack involved straight away because there's only one person who I felt could write that story and help pluck it from my head, and that's kind of what it was really. That's where we ran with it. So it was always going to be one shot. We knew that.
Yeah. And here we are, biggest show on Netflix. Here we are celebrating with the cast. Congratulations again to the both.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you.